Alrighty. Just need to finish making some stepper cables, and then I can work on the AC panel, and then I can fire this up. Got pretty much everything prepped to make the cables. All I have to do is put connectors on them. Got labels printed. I've got everything cut back. So because Duet uses such large connectors for the stepper motors, because they can be used to power steppers with much higher currents, I've got to cut back the wire a bit farther than I normally would for a connector. And then I double it over in the crimp, and it seems to work pretty nicely. Gives me a good, firm place to start. I always like to pull on the wire crimp part to make sure that it's holding well on just the wires before I crimp the insulation. So, and then I ended up having to waste a couple connectors yesterday. Until Brian told me that trick. And after that, I was able to get some pretty nice solid connections. I wonder if this would work or not. Can I at least get a little bit better view of what I'm doing? So we want to make the cables the same way all the way down, which is convenient. Ah, here's one of the ones that I wasted. Let's just toss these before I get them confused again. I'm going to need to find some more connectors here real quick. Where did that bag go? Or maybe I used them all in that bag. Oh, here they are. Probably end up using all of these. But just so I can track them better, I'll only tear off what I need as I go. There we go, that's better. Used the wrong crimp size the first time. There we go. Keep doing these videos. I really ought to get a camera that can focus manually. That's a sharp image. Of course, was only really intending on streaming during the Jubilee Project and then not doing it ever again. But I might continue making videos. I don't know how many streams I'll be doing or not. But I think I do want to get a halfway decent close-up camera. There we go, that's much better. Helps when you use the right crimp size. So I'm not looking for the wires to hold perfectly all by themselves. Just that to provide at least some resistance to me tugging. And then when I crimp onto the actual wire itself, it gives a nice, of course you can't see that because it can't focus this camera, but it gives a really nice tight crimp on the wire. It actually bends over and folds into the insulation, and I could be wrong, but I think it actually pierces the insulation and makes electrical contact with the inside of the cable as well, so I actually get contact on the wire crimp and through the insulation. At least with these wires that are relatively small, it seems to work out that way. I don't know if you use the properly sized wires how well it would fold over into it like that, but with a smaller wire or a larger wire, it would make a better contact with the bare conductor. Right. That will be our front left Z. So, as I made these cables, I wrote on them so I wouldn't get them mixed up later. And then after cutting them to the length I want, figured I'd put the wire labels on, and I know that's kind of a backwards way to do it, but I did write a temporary label on there. So I knew I was going to cut them short, and I didn't want to put a label on there and then have to make a new one, so. There we go. So I'll fold over, and then this should fold over top, like so. And I won't even need a zip tie that. It's such a perfect, oh, just for the live stream chat, I'll post that picture. Yeah, I'll snap this picture, but I'll wait till the end to post any pictures. Leave this hanging out so I have something to look at in case I want to be like, how did I do that again? Since I have a memory like a goldfish, it helps. So this one has an R written on it, which should be my right stepper motor, and when I look at my print, it does say R, or right. I guess if I screw this up in the configuration, I can always swap which stepper motor is which. But I've been trying to be careful all the way through, so hopefully my wiring is correct the first time. I cut them just a little more than I did on the last one because I'd like a little bit more wire to make that loop. Now some people are getting a little extra time to work at home on their own stuff. There's a crisis going on. People complaining about being bored, but in my world, I do not have any extra time. at all. You say, you're like, how are you streaming right now? Well, my job did cut back, so I don't have to work on the weekends, but I am still putting overtime in during the week. That was before the whole Corona thing. If I wanted to work right now, I don't think anybody would have complained me putting in some more hours. And since my wife is doing her thing right now, I can do my thing. I wouldn't be doing other stuff right now, but being getting so close to the end, I just wanna keep going, you know? Well, so close to the end, I should say so close to the end of the initial wiring where I can power it up. I'm not really anywhere close to the actual end. Anybody who's got a sharp eye, yes, I am using 2 different crimper tools, both by iSwiss. The one usually does everything I need. But with these bigger connectors, I need something a bit larger, and while I probably could get away with using the largest sitting on here if I have to, the other crimper really does work better. Different brand might have tools that have more different crimps or better range of crimps or something like that, but in one tool, so you don't need 2. So with 2, I go all the way from 28 to 12 gauge, which should cover pretty much anything I'm going to be doing in the hobbies that I do. Also have a stripping tool, or 2 stripping tools that take me from, I think, the same basic range, 28 to 28 to 8, really. A little bit bigger range. Crimping tools, but that's okay. It's easier to fit more holes on a wire stripper than it is to fit crimps on a crimper, I think. Pro tip, careful where your other wires are. When you're doing a ribbon like this, it's not too terribly difficult to accidentally crimp one of your other wires or already crimped connectors. Just pay attention. You don't want to have to redo a bunch of work before it's done. Every time I go to crimp it, the connector wants to roll on me. I do like the connectors that Duet uses. They feel very solid. Nice, satisfying, quick. Microfit connectors are nice too, but I think I like these better. If I can manage it, I'd like to get all 6 of these stepper motor wires done before the stream is over. So that way tonight I can just work on the AC panel, and maybe even, if I'm lucky, fire it up for the first time. Though I'm not sure if I need to get the Pi connected first, although that shouldn't be too terribly difficult. And I will have to make a couple cables, well, one cable, CAN bus cable. Turned it the wrong way. Hmm. My buddy's just told me he's having a little issue breathing. Hopefully it's not what we all think it might be. Told him to keep me up to date. He's a pretty strong, healthy individual, so if he does get it, hopefully he'll be one of the mild cases. Still find it kind of amazing just how much electronic crap I'm slapping on this printer. When you compare it to the first printer I did, who had a circuit board probably smaller than the Duet 6HC here. Now I'm slapping a Duet 6HC, 2 3HCs, got these dumb board mounts, solid state relay. Whole lot of crap. Oh yeah, and a Raspberry Pi 4. All have to get slapped on here. Speaking of the Raspberry Pi 4, I ought to think about printing off the mounts that I seen. I think it was H2B had made. I'd have to look. Maybe I'll get my printer started on that if I can. If I can get this build far enough, I might even be able to assemble one of the Chimeras tonight. I only have the parts printed off for one. I wanted to make sure that it was going to work. Considering the filament I have is in short supply, can't get any more until this crisis abates. Unless I want to switch filaments, and then everything will look a little bit goofy because it won't be matching. already had quite a few print blunders on that spool too, so. Ah. Told my buddy I'm streaming, but I don't see any more viewers. Seriously wonder if it counts me as one of the viewers. I don't have a satisfactory answer for that or not. because I always seem to have one viewer, no matter what. As flattering as that could be, somehow I question its validity. Hey! There's 2 viewers. Hi, Dan. No, now I have 2 viewers, so... Oh. Yeah, so I only have 2 more stepper cables to finish here. You can kind of see the entire back of the printer here. Got all the junk run down here, up here. 2 more steppers. And like I was saying, I got the CAN bus cable to connect the 6HC to the 3HC down here. I don't know if I told you or not, but I'm going to build the second 3HC off the machine. I'm going to just kind of make a jig so I can loom it up. Then I'll throw it on the back of the printer with all the wires done. It'll make it a lot easier. The first plan, though, is to just get one tool working, and then shortly after get a second tool working. And then while I'm doing test prints and stuff like that, I can start working on the next 3HC. Well, I'm going to have to make that jig sooner than later. Hey Dan, if you're listening, you want to grab a piece of like masonite and do the jig for me? All I need is 4 holes, and then 4 holes and 4 holes. Boom, done. Well, now I'm down to 1 viewer, so I guess whoever my other viewer was left. Yeah, the chat would be handy, because then people could see who I'm talking to, and they wouldn't think I'm just talking to myself. If somebody ever decides to watch the video. It's a very strange way to have a conversation. Talking through a YouTube live stream and then it circling back to a phone conversation. I haven't actually had anybody use the live chat since one of my first streams. That said though, Dan, if you wanted to, you could join the Discord. The Discord feeds back into the live stream as well. I believe the link to the Discord is in the YouTube description. You can join through the web interface. You don't even need to download anything.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing all right?
Woohoo, 3 viewers.
3 viewers? Who else is here?
Well, there's always the mystery 1 viewer that never seems to disappear, which I'm kind of wondering if that viewer isn't myself somehow.
It might be YouTube. It might be the YouTube bot.
Yeah, probably. Somebody always keeps me company. And then my friend Dan, who is at home, is kind of popping in and out of the live stream.
Okay. Well, hello, Dan.
Although somehow my viewer count has dropped to 1, so I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, hard to say. I'm not actually on the YouTube stream. So.
Oh, really? It had popped up to 3 when you signed in. I thought so. Somebody else must have been.
Weren't me. I am currently working on the heated bed.
Of which machine?
Of the big machine. So I've got this ginormous 500 by 500 bed here.
Right.
I'm getting ready to pick one of the leads and insert the thermal fuse. So, exciting stuff, right?
Indeed. I am on my second to last stepper motor.
Awesome.
So that's pretty exciting.
That is.
Yeah, no, I'm competing for viewers right now with Tom Sindlander. Last I checked, he was doing a live stream.
You're not really competing for viewers.
I know. I don't have any.
Nobody wants to watch his stuff anyway.
I popped in for a minute, but I wasn't really all that interested in watching some random printer getting built.
Yeah. I am currently... Really? Did I cut that way too long? I did. Oh, well.
Long is better than short, because you can fix one of the 2 situations and not the other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I stripped too much off.
Oh.
Which again is not that big a deal. I just trim a little bit and then I crimp on the connector. So I am crimping quick disconnects onto the leads. Works better if I actually hit the tabs instead of missing the tabs. Here we go.
Woohoo. Last stepper. At least until I put together the second 3HC board.
Okay.
Don't know if you're still watching or not, Dan, but Brian has been following my build for quite a while, and he helps point out little things here and there that make life easier.
Yeah, mostly I'm just the peanut gallery.
Hoping my son fell asleep. I haven't heard any noises for a while. My
I
wife's
don't think it's necessarily a good thing.
What's that?
That's not necessarily a good thing. Children who are silent are rarely up to any good.
Well, my wife's upstairs, so she has the monitor. But no, it's like he was showing signs where he definitely was looking sleepy, but he's been rolling around in his crib for like an hour. Not really getting upset to the point where we need to go intervene, but sometimes we'll hear some whines come from the room. It's like, come on, dude, you need your nap. If you don't take your nap, you're going to be cranky all day. Yeah, when he doesn't take his nap, he definitely gets irritating.
Yeah. All right. Connector in place. Fuse in place.
I just bought this laptop that I'm using for streaming.
Yeah.
But part of me is like half wanting to get one of the little, like, used or whatever. It doesn't need to be something fancy, but Microsoft Surfaces.
Yeah, the Surface. A friend of mine's got a Surface. Just got a new Surface Pro. He's very pleased with it.
Well, back when I was doing everything, I'm like, do I want a laptop or a Surface or a what? And sometimes I feel like it would be really handy to have a nice little Windows machine that I could just easily move around.
Okay.
The laptop is easy enough, but when I'm dealing with my son, sometimes it's like still too unwieldy to keep around me.
Yeah. So I have a piece of 6mm cork that I'm beginning to lay out.
I can tell Adam Savage is really bored. I don't know how many videos he's put out in the last few days.
Here, everybody, watch me make a model.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch that thermal detonator build, but I haven't really found the time for it yet. No, I knew he had a YouTube channel, but I never really watched it. But the times I have watched it, though, recently, I'm like, why haven't I watched this sooner? He's actually throws in a lot of good tips, too, and when he's doing stuff.
So here's a question. So I'm putting cork on here, and it says it takes even pressure really nicely. So the question is if I put even pressure on it, is the cork going to give enough, or do I need to gouge out where the wires and stuff are?
Depends on how thick the wires are, but considering what I think I know what you're doing, you'll probably want to make some clearances, at least for the, what do you call it? Fuse, the thermal fuse.
Yeah, kind of what I was thinking.
What I did is, well, I mean, you know what I did. I took two, like, 3mm pieces, and then I made a cutout in the one layer, and then I put a full layer on top of it. So I sandwiched it.
Yeah, all I've got is a thick layer, a 6 millimeter thick layer. So what I might do is just cut a groove in it, or do it in sections. I could do it in pieces.
Hey Dan, if you're listening, like I was saying before, check out the link in the description of the video for the Discord server. And then for the chat room, it'll be the live stream chat that you'll want to join. I don't think he's ever used Discord before, so you might have to make an account, but I don't think it should take more than a minute. Yeah, I think Adam, he must have like a huge backlog of all these little things he's wanted to do. Now that he's stuck in
he's in the rest of us. Because he is just like the rest of us. He's just
famous.
A more famous nerd. Fame being a relative thing.
But yeah, it's like whenever I watch him, it's like, you know, you can see that, like, it's hard to imagine that we wouldn't get along really well, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Adam Savage is very much the quintessential nerd.
Indeed.
Jamie's a little more taciturn.
Yeah, I can't say that, nothing against Jamie, but I can't say that I would run to go hang out with Jamie. Not that I would shun him or anything like that, but it would be like, you know...
Shun the unbeliever. Shun... Sorry, did I say that out?
Yeah, I just wouldn't go out of my way to be like, oh, look, it's Jamie. I'm not really a follower of celebrities anyway, in general. Like, if there was a celebrity in the room, I'd been like, oh, look, there's a celebrity, and then I'd go back to eating my sandwich or something.
Yeah, it's one of the things that happens when you're, depending on, you know, where you work and stuff like that. Because when I was at the Apple Store, we had celebrity visitors on a regular basis.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's an Apple Store. People come in to get their stuff fixed, right? I mean, Rucker Hauer showed up once. Robin Williams showed up once. The folks from Celtic Women, when they were in town, came by because they needed to get their computers fixed. You know, stuff like that. Like I got a friend of mine who's trying to print what I think is probably an unprintable model. And we cut it apart and it's running at like 3%. And the model keeps failing on the print. And it's like, dude, I'm pretty sure this model is just not unprintable. And you can keep beating yourself up over it, but you know when the walls are a bit below a certain thickness, you know.
Oh, the walls are too thin.
Well, it's only at 3% of the way the model was sculpted, right? So, yeah, you know, stuff like that. Things like that happen, and there's not a lot you can do about it.
Right. There we go. Posted a picture in Discord for you.
All right, looking good.
And I think I just heard him make some murmurs. It's like, kid, you gotta sleep.
No, I don't. Never.
Never give up. Never surrender. For a movie that I feel like was supposed to be kind of a spoof on science fiction, I really like Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, I think it's the best Star Trek movie out there.
The best Star Trek movie. Nice.
You laugh, but even Jonathan Frakes and Patrick Stewart both like really enjoyed it.
Oh, I just realized I didn't put my label on one of the Z's. No. It's been a while since I watched Galaxy Quest. I should do that. So, I never actually looked into the origins of Galaxy Quest. Was that based on a story or anything, or did they just make that movie up straight up from scratch?
Straight up from scratch.
Nice. It felt like it was potentially based on an old TV show, which I guess it was supposed to kind of feel that way.
Yeah, it's a love letter to Star Trek.
Oh my gosh, my desk is covered in bits of zip tie and wire and sleeving. I didn't realize how big of a pile of mess I had made for myself. It's gonna take a minute to get this under control. Like, gives you an idea of the fraction. That's a fraction of what I've already removed from the desk.
Yeah, I am currently digging quartz out of 4 corners, so I have reference points.
Gotcha.
So I can start with those 4 corners and then I can drill out the rest. But I'm digging them out with an X-Acto blade. And what I really need is a 4mm drill bit. But these are the reference points.
When you go to build the Jubilee, any of the wires or the electronics, that are in the manual, I would add several 100mm too, so you can cut them down to whatever you want later.
All right.
And I wouldn't bother putting any connectors on them, because if you're using Duet 3, the connectors that he calls out on some of the wires for the switches are not the same connectors that are used on the Duet 3.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, not a difficult thing to swap out. These connectors are easy to slide out of their whole thing
So, yeah.
and change, but it'll save you a minute.
Good. All right.
In fact, I think I'll recommend to tell Josh just to not bother telling people to put connectors and just give them nice long wire lengths. I'm sure the way he intended on everything going together, the wire lengths are just fine, but for me, they wanted everything to kind of be nice and organized. There we go. Much gooder.
Did you say much gooder?
Yeah, I said it ironically or on purpose.
Okay.
I don't actually talk like that. It was somebody I used to work with said it that way, and it just kind of amused me, so.
Got it.
There we go. Now, as far as the back panel goes, just need to mount the Raspberry Pi. And make a CAN bus cable.
Okay. Did you get the electrical side hooked up?
I do not have the AC panel hooked up yet. So once, but I run cables out to out the back. So when I go to hook it up, I have everything back there that I need.
Okay.
At some point, I also need to put heat sinks on the stepper motors.
Got it.
Alrighty. Alright. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put the Raspberry Pi on standoff because there shouldn't really be any need to route anything through underneath it, I don't believe.
Oh, okay.
Now the question is, do I route it so that all the Ethernet and everything comes out to the left, or do I route it the other way? Because if I do it this way, then I can run like the camera cables or whatever down and out this side.
Okay.
If I have to take it off and redo it later, not the end of the world.
Levi, what are you doing? Yes, there's a... Yeah, there's a bird. Get over it.
Actually, let me check the Duet documentation and see which way they hooked it up. Because it comes with a pre-made cable. Oh, hey, look. My buddy got on to Discord and he found me.
Cool.
I wonder if he sent me any text messages that I've missed lately. I didn't hear my phone make any noise. Nope. Alright. Standoffs. So, I don't know if these will work or not. In the BOM, there were some really small standoffs. That I apparently only have 3 of for some reason. It's kind of annoying. I have 3 M3 12mm standoffs. I don't know where number 4 might have gone off to.
Oh, of course.
They should have all been in a little compartment together, so. And I'm definitely not fitting an M4 through these holes unless I drill them out. Well, you know what? I take that back. I'm not even going to fit an M3 through these holes unless I give them a little bit of a... I think I do remember somebody mentioning that they have to kind of
Oh,
force.
for
What's that?
Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, I guess they use 2.5 millimeter.
Yeah, they're on 2.5.
Pads are more than big enough. I don't know why they did 2.5 instead of 3, which is common everywhere. So here's the question: should I just make a mount for the Raspberry Pi, or should I put them on standoffs?
Your call.
Yeah. Oh, right. I got distracted. I was going to check and see which way I need to mount this according to the Duet documentation.
Nothing sticks to this fiberglass.
Well, if you bury it in some silicone, it won't go anywhere.
Oh, well, the thing is, I'm just needed to hold it in place long enough to get the cork put down.
Gotcha.
Because, yeah. So I'm using some Kaptan tape to just hold it in place temporarily.
Here we go. Okay, so they show the Duet 3. Here, I'll switch it over to the review. So this is on the Duet web page, and so they have that ribbon cable there. Oh, they snake it underneath the Pi. That's interesting, and have it come up on the other side. And they also have so the Ethernet is facing out the same way as the other Ethernet cable. So well, with the location that Josh put these holes, it's not going to be super easy getting the ribbon cable to slide underneath there. Oh, that's a Pi 3, I think, not a Pi 4. Yeah, but they have a different connector layout there, ish. Okay, they replaced the one big HDMI with 2 small HDMI. That's what they did. Alright, so it looks like, unless I want to twist the ribbon cable, it looks like I'm going to have to put the output the opposite way I was intending originally. So maybe I just print it at the same standoff as I printed everything else. Well, if I do that though, then no, that doesn't sound like a good idea either. Because if I ever want to use these ports on the side, the Pi is so close to the 6HC, I would have difficulty getting cables in and out of them. Let me pull up what Daniel had. Yeah, you can kind of see in this picture. I have a thought. This might sound crazy, but what if I put the Pi at an angle? Well, this would actually potentially be flexing it less than if I put it at a slight angle. Either that, or I have to lift the Pi up even higher than I was thinking I would. It'd be somewhat comically high, actually. So I can put it low, and then I might be able to run the HDMI cables underneath the 6HC.
Okay.
Except the damn ribbon cable will still be in the way, because the ribbon cable's got to go under the side with the HDMIs, unless I went over top. You know what I think I'll do? I think I'll just put it Zach is making a bunch of noise now, so I think I'm gonna have to call it and think about it.
Gonna have to stop?
Yep. Okay, yeah.